English will fight back! The wars will never end!
Or they will push us into the Christian...
Hey, you found it.
Oh yeah, I found it.
Good job. I just read all the comments. See, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, man.
You're a little slow, but yeah.
Well, I was in the bathroom. I just got back.
2 days ago,
That sounds like a personal problem.
we rid this land of Kjotve and his
Face is a
dogs.
personal problem.
Yet today, we do not celebrate. Today we cower under a cloud of fear. But it need not be like this. We are not the heel-trodden subjects of a boy king. We are the Raven clan. Our destiny is our own.
Did you know about your father's oath to Harold?
I did not. And for that my anger burns hotter than any man's here. But I will not let that drive me into despair. We cannot stay in Norway. Not under Harald's boot. Not without fueling more war. So we push forward. To newer lands.
To England.
To England.
Hey!
And there make a new home. A kingdom of our own.
The sons of Ragnar Lothbrok have been in England 8 winters already. Is there any land left for a clan of our size?
More than enough, wife.
Hey,
Of the
Raguli
4
says you called it,
kingdoms of
Driftwood.
England, only one
About
is
going to
truly
England.
pacified.
I know.
I have no desire to wear Harald's leash. I like this idea.
A saga for the ages, I agree.
It will take time and resources to build ourselves a new home, but the riches taken from Kjotve's raid would suffice.
No. That belongs to my father, as a fair compensation. In England, we must start anew.
You would start us with nothing, in a land we do not know, among people who hate us?
Kjotve's riches would go some way to easing our passage, Sigurd. I bested him. It is within my rights to claim his goods.
Our leaving must not be an assault on my father. It is a time of renewal for us.
Choices, man.
Sure, I'm gonna agree with him.
If you object, I understand. Let your father keep Kjotve's riches. England will have riches and cargo enough for us.
Good. I did not want this cloud hanging over us. It is a wise leader who considers the need of others.
To
Hey,
England,
look at
then,
that, man.
before the
Ah.
day is out. Pack what you need, but no more than that.
Only in a video
And
game
tighten
would
your
anyone
lips.
call Driftwood
Last thing we
wise.
need is the attention of Harald's troops.
Look here, jackass. I got more brains than you.
Brains, yeah. Brains, probably.
How much did
Common
you hear?
sense, eh.
Enough. A new path is revealed,
just don't
and your
understand my
journey
sense.
will be challenging.
Just because my sense
Will
ain't
you not
common
join
doesn't
us?
mean it's not
For my mother's sake, I cannot.
enlightening.
But our threads will cross again before the final day. Until then,
You know what?
farewell.
You know, I gotta give you some props, man.
Big brain in that sucker.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire
Bullshit.
life.
Asshole.
Come on, man.
So-
our antagonizing each other is the stuff of legends,
See, now
man.
it shows it. Usually it didn't show it before, but now it does.
You're just bad, dude. I saw it clear as day.
You are full of shit, jackass.
Oh man.
I mean, you know I'm right. Shut your face. Shut your face! Your face! Shut it! The face. Now shut this.
I don't like the way those soldiers
I find it flattering.
Don't do it.
will marry you and carry you off to the capital.
Would he?
He would take his pleasure.
See, even Regulus was
Eivor,
saying
the
because
wind
he
favors us. We should set sail without delay.
Then.
You made quick work of packing. Well done.
The dream of new lands is a powerful lure.
As is the promise of glory. But the act of leaving so beloved a home, there is a sadness to it.
Having doubts?
No, not at all. The die is cast.
Then let fate guide our journey. Are you ready?
It's time to go.
I am ready. Let us take to the water and leave unbothered while we have the chance.
That chance is past. Look.
Aye.
Fate flies on swifter wings than we.
King Harald's banner.
Yep. Alright, so do I gotta go destroy it?
Are you sure you have to destroy it?
We'll find out in a second.
Sigurd, what is this assembly? What are you planning?
An exit, father. As graceful as I can. For if I cannot be king in the land of my birth, I will start a new saga. In England.
Nonsense. Your place is here, son, at my side. There will be other victories soon. Other glories.
My choice is made, father. Do not hope otherwise.
There will be other glories. Not for you, though.
It is easy to lose one's way on the road to glory. Do not let false victories blind you to what is true.
You talk of false victories to me, old man? A sad old bear who destroyed his honor with one bent knee. The further I sail from this place, the louder I will sing.
I will be his anchor, Lord.
No. You must be his better half. May Agir bless your voyage.
Yeah.
Hey!
Supplies and raw materials. Alright, well.
The time for tears is over, you weeping sacks of wool! Put some muscle into those bulls!
Ration your strength, dog. We have an ocean to cross.
All right, you lazy backrout. Sigurd, what's our course?
The sons of Ragnar established a settlement near the coast. We set sail for them. Bragi, sing a song to lift our hood.
To rouse the gods!
Sing a song to lift their hood.
Inspire a mighty fart from Thor to speed us on our way!
An ocean lies before us, Eivor. And on its far side, a new kingdom awaits.
You know England well from your travels.
I spent a season in their kingdom of Mercia. A temperate land, lush and wild. By now, the sons of Ragnar will have claimed its heart.
Do we mean to join their
Oh god,
army?
I'm getting sick!
In time, all of England will know of Raven Clan and the glory we brought to that fractured land. So to England,
I picked up a new game the other day.
glory and destiny.
It's a Switch game.
To England!
Illuminous Adventure.
For Valhalla!
Illuminous Adventure.
Hey, look! I finished the prologue today!
Oh my god.
Only took two portion of a third.
It only took
session.
12 hours. No, 6 hours. No, 12 hours, yeah.
More.
Yeah, over 12 hours.
13.
13 hours to get to the start screen. Oh, now we're probably going to be switching over to her. Look, another trophy. Oh, I gotta be careful. I know you have your pinched nerve and everything. I don't want to aggravate it. Okay. Good. Open season. Yeah, so I'm guessing you're probably going to be playing a section with whoever that character is.
Yeah, the modern day.
Yeah.
She's not that attractive. She got like wrinkles on the forehead. She looks kind of like I when I first saw it, I was like, "Did you become one of the like slime people?"
Are you part raccoon?
Wow.
Must be a side effect of the animus.
She's got rings under her eyes about as bad as mine.
But hers are because of makeup, though.
Mine aren't either. Not her.
Oh, hey!
There's the staff
From the other game.
Lady from Odyssey?
Gotta be.
I don't know, man.
In a lecture at the University of Cambridge, Dr. Sirka told a worried audience that scientists have few answers for them. Since the mass coronal ejection of 2012, the strength of the Earth's magnetic field has increased by a factor of 50,000.
Damn.
This has resulted in huge disturbances in radio and satellite communications, dangerous bands of radiation around the poles, and as we can all see from our window, an aurora borealis that never burns away. Unfortunately, we are stumped as to why this is happening, and if we cannot find an answer soon, it may change the way we live, the way we communicate, even the way we evolve forever. Dr. Circa went on to say,
Bought you more electrolytes? Oh, new and improved citrus flavor.
Thanks, Sean.
I think that is. Wow, she looks bad right now.
She looks rough. It's okay. It's cool though. You're a pirate. You like them rough, don't you?
Stop poking me. You're poking me just to poke me now.
I don't know what you're talking about.
How do we fix this?
All right, fine. I'll stop. Poor little baby. Oh, my pink nerve is hurting me.
I'm gonna punch you.
You're a long way from home, boy.
Where, my pinch nerve.
Look around for a second.
It hurts.
Examine the teeth, honey.
Some quality stuff here.
Here's some quality stuff there.
Is that tea? Or is that poppy seeds? Looks like poppy to me.
It looks like it's some kind of tea.
It dries!
Herbal tea. You know what I'm saying?
Oof. I'd rather walk into town than use this.
Are you sure?
Someone's got mail. An invitation to a fair in Concord. Bring your best crop and you may win a prize. Tempting.
Whoa, okay.
What she doesn't know is that is actually a
Someone's got mail.
shuttle.
An
from the planet of
invitation to a
Krypton.
fair in Concord.
As
Bring
an
your best
aviator by
crop
the
and
name
you
of
may win a
Kal-El.
prize. Tempting. Another satellite. Damn. Probably bought this in a coffee shop somewhere in Concord.
Hey there, know me. Don't you know me? Get it? Get it?
See, this is what I have to do with people.
Well, I bet you can't even tell me where that line came from. No, you're totally wrong on that. As always. No, you're wrong.
I should do this more often. Relaxing.
Then why don't you tell me, sit there and...
Well, because you're not even trying to guess.
I don't know what your brain thinks. Your brain's weird.
So is yours. But that is actually from Dexter's lab. Focus.
Beautiful.
Exit.
But it's not normal.
But it's not normal.
That's the Aurora Borealis.
I tell you, man. Shadowbringers, yeah. Perpetual light.
I mean, it's just nighttime. It's just...
Perpetual Aurora Borealis.
I think we've done a full circle. That's... that is... I'm pretty sure that's a door right there.
probably gonna have to go back inside the house. Okay.
I'm not going anywhere. Not yet.
You're not going anywhere, buddy.
Not yet.
You're not going anywhere.
Not yet.
You're not going anywhere.
Not yet.
You're not going anywhere.
Yet.
You're
Not
going
any
where?
yet.
Not yet.
I'd love to play around, but I have bigger things on my mind.
Why don't you go inside the house? Why don't you go inside the house?
Working on it.
But what? Why don't you just go inside the house? The door's right there. Why don't you go inside?
There was another door on the other
Why
side.
don't you go inside the
I'm
house?
gonna other door you with a face and a punch that
Mint tea
opens
is
your
not
nose
actually
door.
tea, Bex.
Wow.
It's an infusion.
And I'm jealous
Really
that I
just
don't know the
dirty
way,
minty
and I'm jealous
water.
because of the way his mind works.
I don't care what you call it, Sean.
All right, where was she at?
Of course I
She
did,
just
love.
randomly appears. Damn. Okay.
Hey, sorry about pulling you out. The generator was sputtering.
That's fine. I needed air.
How is the Animus data stream? Comfortable?
Felt pretty stable after a while.
Good. Just give me a sec and you can jump back in.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure these are the same people.
Another satellite came down. Did you see?
I did. One of Abstergo's.
That's good.
Well, most of North America just lost its GPS service, so
Your face isn't copacetic.
that's what you mean by good, really.
Right. Even when we win, we lose.
You're gonna what?
Okay, we're all set. Whenever you're ready, you can jump back in.
What? What? What?
You gotta be like this.
Why I gotta be like this? Because fuck you, that's why.
Please enjoy your stay. Remember, all the garbage must be packed out, and please water the plants once a day. Yeah, I won't remember that. You gonna put this in the fridge, Sean?
Of course. In half a minute.
Remember, tomatoes go on the counter, not the fridge.
Yeah, he
Remember what?
You mind if I put some music on?
Go for it.
Cool. Sean has been busy.
Strange message. An audio fragment sent from an unknown location to our encrypted servers. Nothing was stolen, nothing corrupted, just a quick deposit and gone. We got lucky this time. So what is it? A cryptic sound file, voice unknown, with a signal beneath it. The signal was a code, led us to a precise spot here in New England. We dug, and good lord, we struck gold. Well, silver, dominant currency in the Dark Ages. Point is, it was a gravesite, a Norse warrior dating to the late 9th century, early 10th century AD. A few centuries before the earliest known settlements. This is big news if we have it right. Question remains how these bones get here and why.
Hello, Layla.
Sean, what do you make of the grave out there?
Well, it overturns a few hundred years of scholarship about the first Europeans to set foot in North America. Apart from that, it's just a bunch of muddy bones, isn't it?
Sure it is.
Sure.
Can we talk about this thing on my neck for a second?
Ah, the mood stabilizer. Yes.
It's not harmful, is it? I mean, I feel good, but I want to make sure there's no side effects.
There shouldn't be. It's only blocking outside signals, a passive effect. So the staff doesn't, you know, mess with you.
Sean, what happened last year, I had no control over that. I tried to resist.
I understand. And your old team, maybe they don't. But we've seen that sort of thing before. Still, if you want to work with us and get to the bottom of
So it
why
was
the
you that
world is
got
about
this
to
stuff.
end
It
for the
wasn't
second time in 8
Except for
years,
like her old team, she
then
probably
you wear
went
that thing
bought
until
one.
we say otherwise.
I
William's
don't
orders.
remember the end of the
I know.
end of that last game. Do you
It's
remember?
not a problem.
It's just a few more weeks, yeah? Just until we figure this out.
You're right.
No, but you know how we could find
I know
out.
you're right.
Go watch the video on YouTube.
Yes.
Hey, everybody! Somebody go watch the last video on YouTube and tell me how that happened.
Sean, don't forget to water the plants while I'm under, okay?
I'll add it to the calendar and tattoo it on my leg.
Add it to the calendar and tattoo it on his leg. Wait, can I actually inspect the staff too? Let's see this.
That's quite nice. Soothing. Let's have a look.
Oh, we have mail. Read no. From Ramsley Hazen. Thanks for clearing up such profound detail. I'm sure I'll keep
Sleep.
Ram.
Sleep soundly now.
Hey! I don't have COVID, no. I'm well isolated. It's 3 of us traveling together, staying out of sight. Wow. Wow. Thanks, 2020. So this is the first one, right? And then it's this one is so we should read them this one first.
Yes.
Rammy, forgive the short email I wanted to call, but I'm not using phones right now and time is limited. I'm still recovering from my trip. Things got out of hand. Nothing was as expected. People got hurt. I told you it was for research, and it was, but not for The truth is, I haven't worked for them. Oh, that's Abstergo. The truth is, I haven't worked for them for a few years. It's a long story, and I won't bother you with the details, but it wasn't for me. Leave it at that. The group I'm with now, I can't explain, not over email, but they've shown me things, given me opportunities, and opened my eyes to a broader view. But not without cost. In fact, I fucked up last year bad more than once, and I need to make it right. I know all this sounds cryptic. It is, but I'm not in danger, not in the way you might think. If I'm being vague, it's because I need to be. I don't want any data sniffers picking up on keywords that might raise alarms. Do I sound paranoid? A little.
No, a little? It's a question.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Not a sentence.
You're a sentence. Here's the point. Don't
Yes,
worry about
and that
me.
sentence is, the king is handsome.
As a disfigured hog.
That's a disfigured driftwood.
Don't worry about me. I'm with a couple of people who I trust now. They've been at this a lot longer than I have. They're going to see me through this, I promise. And this time next year, things will be better. The skies will be clear, earthquakes will stop, and we'll celebrate Ramadan together. It'll be like 1990s all over again. Tell
It'll
Mama
be just like the
Baba
90s all over again.
I'll miss them. I'm doing fine. Shut your face.
Don't be mad just because you can't read.
Shut your face. I don't like the sound of any of this, Lalia.
Layla.
Lay your face. And I don't like when this is leading. Not using phones is
Wow.
not the right way to ease my mind. You have my number. I suggest you call it. And no, I won't say hello to our parents for you, because doing so would bury me in questions and I cannot answer. And to tell Father that you no longer work for Abstergo would break his heart. That's all he ever talks about, how his daughter is on the cutting edge of neuroscience. The man doesn't understand the first thing about what you do or did, and he's still proud. I will not be the one who did disappoint him. Is it COVID? Is that why you're being cagey? Something else? Call him. Call me. And stop this insane game of hide and seek. I just want to know you're safe. So
I guess they start from the bottom and then go all the way up.
I never played Origins. Assassin's Creed Origins.
Okay.
Anybody out there who's played Assassin's Creed Origins, let me know if Leia was in that one too. Because it seems like
Layla.
That one.
Not Leia.
I'll Leia you. That sounds bad.
Yeah, please. No.
That means
No.
I'll throw you out of a space lock and watch you suffocate.
I don't want to play Among Us anymore with you. No. Just kidding.
Oh, I felt so bad for Link last time in Among Us.
Dude, I fell asleep, man. I feel bad.
Well, no, like everybody started ganging up on Link.
Really?
Yeah, I felt really bad. Like I didn't. There's only 2 times I kind of like went on him, but like the whole time my gut was like yelling that was him. It was definitely him. And it was right every time. It was right every time. Oh, I feel so bad for Lee, man. Oh, wow, this is a long one. You want to read this one?
Nope.
Really?
Yeah.
God dang it. I want to read it. One last message after all the communication between us is via this account or any other will cease. We have our own ways of talking, methods that cannot be sniffed or traced. Your previous team made this mistake. They knew the risk, but they were sloppy, left traces of their activity on everything, digital fingerprints everywhere, and will not happen to us. My colleagues tell me that the initial meeting went well. They were impressed, if a little wary of the influence of your new toy it has on you. But they know better than most what it means to live with such a burden. I'm curious to know more about this heir of memories epitaph. It is not a phrase we have heard in all of our decades of research. In a few weeks' time, when we contact you once more, if you are interested in proceeding, follow our instructions to the letter. If you are not interested, or if you break any other of our protocols, this will be the last time you hear from us. Take this to heart. This world is sick and getting sicker. The Earth's magnetic field is growing stronger. Satellites are falling from the sky. Earthquakes are getting more frequent. Famines are becoming more and more frequent. And now we have credible reports of a new and deadly virus sweeping through Asia. COVID.
Earthquakes are becoming more freaking?
Frequent. I can feel... It can feel like we're living through a Yitzian nightmare. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. In many ways we are. But there is hope. There is a cure. Us. In the past few months we have come across something that may help us solve our most pressing problem. A message. A very promising message that may help us reverse the dire course we are on. If you want to be part of the solution, join us. If not, we wish you the best of luck. I'm ready.
What are you looking at over there?
My phone buzzed. I was seeing if I was part of the stream thing, man. Your face. It's a D&D thing. Somebody's asking for playing. Would your favorite baseball team happen to be the Atlantis Eagles? Who the fuck is this? You have a gift and a curse. The gift of old blood, the curse of not understanding it. We can help if you help us. What you did is not your fault, but you must take responsibility for it. Otherwise, nothing gets done. One of us will contact you. If you miss us, you miss your chance. Unknown sender. Unknown sender. Okay. Probably should have read them from bottom to top. It's bottom to top, stop. God. Layla, as you traipse about... Shed face. Around England, Beck and I thought you might want to keep your eyes open for a few things. Why don't you drink?
Well, I didn't read it wrong.
Well, why don't you read then? Here, you read this, I'll drink.
Well, alright. Layla, as you traipse about England...
I read that part. Start Assassin Bureau.
Okay. Or the Hidden Ones, more accurately. They operated in Roman Britain between the years 100 and 430 CE.
Faster.
It is not clear why they left, but the final date corresponds roughly to the Roman exodus from Britain, so I imagine their leaving had something to do with the Empire's retreat? Mission accomplished or a loss of faith? Not sure. But we do know that it was several hundred years before the Hidden Ones returned to the island. It may be Basim and Hytham are the first in half a century. From our own archives, I believe that there were 6 main bureaus operating in the Roman period. Leicestershire, London, Winchester, York, Essex, and Gloucestershire. Yeah, that. There won't be... Oh, these won't be the Saxon names, so you'll have to read between the lines. Beck's noticed these, about 10 embedded in the simulation. They're dense clusters of data that may screw with your ability to navigate Ivor's memories. Approach with caution. We do not know what they'll do if you get too close. They may be harmless. They may induce occipital shock or wipe your mind. Hard to say. Best to err on the side of hell no. But if you're curious, well, I warned you.
Pieces of Eden.
We don't know of any Isu artifacts that you should be looking for specifically, but they're out there, and this was a period where they often cropped up in legend. Norse and Saxon songs and tales speak of them often, so keep your eyes peeled, especially around Stonehenge. How could that not be an Isu site?
November 3rd, 2014, Rebecca Crane. Preface. The transformation of the Order of Ancients into the Templars, as we know them today, has always been a subject of considerable debate among our ranks. We have operated with the assumption that the Templars themselves hold some of the complete knowledge of this evolution, but at present, no concrete historical evidence has ever been made into our hands. The little data we do have is mostly a matter of public record, with some exceptions. It is commonly understood that the origin of the Knights Templars date back to 1119 CE, and this is indeed was the appearance of the public face of the Templars. However, our records attest to the existence of the Templar agents of at least 2 centuries before this date. You want to take care of this for me? I'm gonna
Fine.
Please and thank you.
Whatever.
In one badly damaged document, an assassin construct from Normandy in the mid-11th century, the author makes free use of the term Templar. An earlier letter, this time from the Hidden One, in the region of modern-day Dorset, circa 978 CE, makes mention to a Templar spy within the ranks of the Brotherhood. From this, we can safely assume that the Templar Order, as an entity distinct from the Order of the Ancients, existed at some point in the mid-10th century. With an aim to expand our understanding of this dark age, one of our agents recently volunteered to delve into his genetic memory to search for further clues on this old age mystery. Unfortunately, what he discovers little use of our purpose. Sean Hastings began the first of 7 sessions on October 5th, 2014. Over the course of the next 3 weeks, he followed various maternal and paterial lines to the past, focusing on the 9th, 10th, and 11th century in search of the assassins and or the Templars in his bloodline. He found none. Of minor interest, however, was the following personages. They're noted from the peculiarity of his biology. Alrekor Thorvaldsson. Yeah. An early 9th century Jute who sailed north from modern-day Denmark with a wooden plank bearing carving of a map that purported to mark the location of Thor's hammer. Ooh! Erikar made it as far as the Stavanger before running afoul of a powerful clan there. Alcarer was defeated in battle and enthralled as a slave. He escaped his captivity some 10 years later and returned to Jutland to marry and settle down. The location of Alcarer's map is unknown, and the existence of Thor's hammer, precursor relic, was no doubt remains unconfirmed. Alrekor's ancestors would later sail to England following the Normans' conquest of the land, settling in what is now called Lornbroth in modern-day Leicestershire. God, these words. English, man. And not just English, the Queen. The Queen's English is hard. The irony that a man named Hastings would contain no useful genetic memory data regarding... Shut your face! Regarding the Norman invasion of England in 1066 was not lost on our dear subject. Still, he retained his usual chipper wit and asked if it might be next relative genetic memory of his grandfather to, quote, give a Nazi a proper butt-licking. Bollocking. Bollocks. Bollocksing. So much more to go through.
I lived, I died, and now I sleep. And in my sleep I dream. And in my dreams I see an end to the doom that will grip the earth once again. Find the wolf-kissed. Find the mad one. Find me.
Yeah, we'll look at it this way. Probably by the time we get through this and about to get back into the anime, so it'll be time for a break.
That sounds about right.
Layla, thought you might be interested in this. Conversations that Bex and I had with Desmond back in 2012. December, I think. Just candid talks, that's all. We didn't square any circles or write any beat poetry. But he did have some interesting insights into his time in the Animus and what it means to be an assassin. Anyway, have a listen. You might find you and he had similar experiences, so, well, let me know what you think. Unless it's to tell me I sound like a total brat in these recordings. If that's the case, just say nothing. I mean, I did have a slight cold at the time I recorded these. That's probably why I sound odd. Anyway, okay, I'm done anyway, so turn off. Turn off. Oh, it's actually just a button. Sorry, here we go.
No, come on, Sean. Turn that thing off.
Oh, hold on. I like what you said there. I want to get this for posterity. Say it again, nice and loud.
Seriously?
Sure, come on. If nothing else, it'll give me leverage with your old man.
Ah, that's your angle. Nice. What I said was, I wish I hadn't been born into the Assassins. I wish I had chosen this life. Is that good enough?
Sure, but why is that?
Because choice is the central idea of our creed. It underpins everything, right? It's about free will. It's about seeing the evidence before you and saying, yes, this is what I want. Or, no, this isn't for me. But when you're born into a group like this, or any other, like I was, you get mixed signals. You get told over and over again, this is what we believe. These are the rules. This is reality. No deviation. And if you question it, oh, they look at you like you killed a puppy. That's hardly free will. It's a weird irony when free will is your central belief, but nobody wants you to believe otherwise. I don't know how to say it exactly, but I always thought there was something self-destructive about our creed.
Wow.
If free will is the most important moral guidepost we have, we should be free to ignore it. To choose submission, for example. You know what I mean? Like, we should be free to side with the Templars. If it's really my choice, I could do that.
Right. It's almost self-refuting. A democracy could democratically elect a dictator or choose to get rid of democracy altogether. Within our creed is the seed of its own destruction. That's what makes it powerful, I think. And fragile.
Right. The more freedom you have, the more risky it is, you know?
Wow.
Anyway, my dad has mellowed over the years, but he was strict when we lived on the farm. He ran a tight ship. I never got the impression that I was free to choose my path forward. Our creed, our tenets, they were drilled into my head. By the time I was a teenager, I was following these rules out of a sense of duty. This was just what we did.
That happens to a lot of organizations over time. The stagnation sets in, you know? The fundamentalism.
Yeah. Following the rules becomes more important than achieving whatever goal you set out for yourself. And people start to lose sight of the reason the rules exist.
That's called deontology, or a form of it. Following a rule for its own sake, and not for the consequences it has.
Yeah, but that feels backwards, doesn't it?
Well, I think so. Following a rule is the easy part. Praying, taking a sip of wine, munching on a wafer. Rituals that give comfort.
But that's just going through the motions. It makes people feel like...
Hey.
Like they're doing something. When the hard work is... Well, actually getting off
free men
doing
under the flag.
I think people just want boundaries.
Yes.
Tight boundaries.
Free as I want to be.
They want to see the four walls that pen them in.
I don't disagree.
Anything outside that, anything that makes life more complex, that's scary. That's why I envy you. You chose this life. You went through that process and you decided, yes, I believe in this.
Sure. It didn't stop me from being an insufferable know-it-all as a teenager, but I see your point.
I would have loved to have been a know-it-all. I knew nothing.
Free.
Not until you guys found me.
We're the freest of free.
Yeah. It wasn't until I met you, and Bex and Lucy, that I knew. I knew I wanted to be an assassin.
Oh, thanks, Des. Come here. Bring it in, bud. I don't normally like touching, but...
I do what I want because a pirate is free.
I am not.
I am a pirate.
You sure?
Yo, fiddly dee.
Can't you just turn that off?
Being a pirate is alright with me. Do what we want because a pirate is free. We are a pirate. You can try.
This here?
Do you guys record everything we talk about?
Not everything. that you've been using the Animus so much, I thought this was a good chance to learn some things about prolonged exposure.
So I'm your guinea pig.
No, my guinea pigs are all dead. The Animus was too much for them to handle.
Cute.
Can I ask you about the bleeding effect? Any recent flashes? Any memories resurfacing?
Yeah, the usual things. Ghost images of Altair and Ezio a few times a day. Nothing intrusive, just brief moments. They pass quickly.
Caption?
Almost without me noticing. Like a figure in the corner of my eye. Or remembering a dream from the night before. I did have one extended hallucination a few days ago. It was Ezio. He was older, around the time he left Cappadocia. He was standing on the deck of a ship, alone. And through him, I could feel an intense...
I got the character Ezio in AFK
regret. Or
not a
guilt.
sponsor. I wish they would.
And it felt to me like he'd had
but no, I played
a loss of faith
and I got the Ezio
in himself and the creed, like he couldn't keep it up. Couldn't stay true to his ideals. And as I watched him,
okay.
I thought,
I'm gonna get both.
Is this the moment he decided he was done being an assassin?
About 23 or so days
felt like
to go live to purchase.
Anyway, most of my visions have been brief.
I've got enough coins
lasting
to get
just a few seconds.
Right now.
So you're trying to hustle to get the rest up, to get enough coins to get the rest of them? Or the other one?
Suddenly out of nowhere, fully formed.
Okay.
It's a strange feeling.
Well, good luck with that.
Okay. Anything else?
I'm starting to see Connor now, too.
20 more.
Though I hear his voice more often than I see him.
What's 20 times 4?
I'm sure that will change.
80?
Oh, yeah. And yesterday, just before bed, I had a memory of being on a beach in the Caribbean with a bunch of sailors.
Every 2 days you get about 2,000.
Or maybe they were pirates. I don't know. No idea.
Pirates.
Huh. We'll look into that. And how do you feel in general?
In general? Well, I feel older.
Hey, now it's
for
caught
one.
back up.
Much older.
It's a little
and
ahead
it's strangely comforting. I'm collecting the memories and skills and thoughts of so many people. I feel like I've lived a few hundred years or more.
I feel as I could do
Is
a better
it possible
time
that if I do this for too long,
syncing up the,
it'll push my own memories aside? That I'll be everyone but myself after a while?
It's possible. That's called identity substitution. It's happened before, but it's rare. And someone with your background shouldn't need to worry.
My background? You mean someone with my genes? My abilities?
You have Isu DNA, and that lets you see things and do things and withstand traumas that other people can't.
And I can suffer in ways that others can't. That's not something to be proud of.
You mean the apple?
Yeah. It has a pull, Bex. It tugs at my brain. It talks to me. Teases me. Drives me mad. And what I did to Lucy. God damn it. Nothing is worth the damage I did. The pain I caused.
I know. But you're special. That's the point.
I'm not special, Bex. I'm lucky. That's all.
I understand.
We're assassins.
Your face looks
now
like
it's
a
ahead
behind.
again.
Creed
Your face looks like a
makes us
behind.
different. Not our genes. Not our blood. Anyone can join us.
Ass face.
That's true. But let's leave that aside for a second. What I want to know is, have you ever had any Isu memories resurface?
Isu memories? I don't...
Just wish what?
Don't think so. I can't even begin to imagine what that would feel like.
I think you'd know if you did. Maybe one day. We might be able to induce something.
Jesus, let's fix the world first, okay? Before we start digging up my ancient ancestors.
Deal.
With my luck, I'll be related to some third-rate Isu like Sisyphus or something.
Way to aim high, buddy.
Hey, you gotta.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's what our viewers really want to hear.
My mic was muted. I was getting some coffee so I can stay awake. Because I'm tired.
I drank all of mine.
The messengers. There's 6 of them. Please just be pictures. Nope. Nope, of course not. Of course they're not just pictures.
I think you should just...
Nope. Gotta go through it.
Okay.
That's what the people want.
Are you sure that's what the people want? Or are you sure that that's what you want?
You're just mad that I have better voice acting skills than you.
And you're just using the people as an excuse to do this.
Rebecca, before we met at the site, I want you to see these. Last week, I reviewed the logs from time with the Bayek and to come across all more notes. In the years I explored Cleopatra's Egypt, I stumbled across 6 Isu temples, most of which were buried beneath the pharaohic temple sites. Each temple contained an Isu message clearly meant for one of the ability to read genetic memories. I was the lucky one. I didn't believe they were intended for Baek himself, as he seemed wholly unaware of the messages they played. They may have been encoded in a way that only someone with an animus could see them. It has been a few years since I last heard these messages, so my memory is foggy, but the notes I subscribed down are clearly that I trust. Might be something to all this, I don't know. Often I grasp outside my area of expertise. I'm enthusiastic, but often wrong. Let me know if something else strikes you.
And that's how a woman named Layla sounds, folks.
Shut up! I'm going to speak like this for this message because that's what I want to do. Message 1, excerpt.
Oh boy.
Layer upon layers of reality with burning into the next. Which is real, which is not. What if none are real? What if everything you know is false? We run thousands of simulations, searching for the right vision, searching for Desmond. Each one of them felt real, but there's no way of truly knowing, is there? Now, for sure. not for sure. Anything could be simulated, and finding the answer could mean erasure. Teasing the assassin maxim, nothing is true. Must be careful not to confuse truth with facts, however, and language game you know will always lose. Though we may stumble on our attempts to interpret it, the world, the universe, reality, and what have you, it is always out there. I believe that simulated or no. We could imagine a dozen nested simulation, each one on the level of itself, which constitute a full reality. Wolfram via Conway suggests the universe is a giant cellular automata.
Automata.
That's what I said. Automata.
As long as you get through this,
man. And further to the point, there's a difference between simulated real is meaningless. If the universe was simulation, what would it matter? The simulation via itself will be real, and therefore nothing within it will be real within the confines of the simulation. Say a scientist were able to simulate pain by inducing only a few neurons to fire. No physical harm. I am in pain. The subject says, no, you will only believe you are, says the scientist. This is meaningless as it is this. You thought you were in pain, but you were mistaken. Thank you, and have a nice day. Your turn.
No surprise. You were designed to have boundaries after all.
No fun.
Well, because I don't use a different voice that's not fun?
Come on, man. Put some emotion into it. Dude, emotion. Ooh, entertain.
And one cannot speak of that which one cannot conceive. The code. Equations that define life.
Come on, do it in Brooklyn.
They are nestled deep within every star. No.
It's your face.
God
You
damn
know
it.
it.
God damn it. They're nestled deep within every star. And every mote of dust. Every second that passes is a word, a symbol, all part of an intricate yet simple language existing within the framework of time itself. It is the one rule which applies to us all. Immutable, inescapable. We know this. Humans were the instruments of an earlier species, the Isu. Resisted temptation to say superior, different. They were better suited to some task, ill-suited to others, possessed of a mind that we cannot know. But that does not get us anywhere. What is it like to be an Isu? What is it like to be a bat? Okay. The implication that the Isu could read time is interesting. But if humans could read time, would it necessarily be in the same manner, and for the same purpose? Whether constructed or evolved or a little of both as we are, we cannot be said to have been built to achieve the same ends. A round disc on its edge is a wheel, on its side a plate. How we use something can often determine its value and perceived purpose.
And we're back.
Oh boy.
Break the code. Break the node. Hey, dudes. These walls tell of a tragic story. A story was transcribed in our structure. on the artifacts. A story we cannot alter, a mystery defying us in plain sight. We tried our scholars and scientists, poets and physicists. Bright minds, rebellious hearts. They are all tried so hard to bring about change. We all failed. None could change what we discovered in the stories written into the walls of these rooms. The reader was no power. He was but an observer. But the author invents the future. The author knows the future. The Toba catastrophe. A super volcanic event paired with a mass coronal injection was the beginning of the end for the Izu. It changed the Earth's environment, lowered the available oxygen levels, and generally fucked things up. The Izu never recovered. By our estimations, the last remaining Izu died just a century after the catastrophe. From that point forward, humans, their creations, ruled the roost. The disaster was not foreseen. Izu scientists had known about their impending doom for years, perhaps decades before the catastrophe occurred. To protect themselves, they worked feverishly to find a solution. 6 methods they tried, but due to a toxic combination of hubris, political infighting, and bad luck, all 6 failed. The final method proved to be most promising. It was nearly completed when the tragedy struck. It was a method that Desmond Miles revived when he saved the world from a second solar flare in December 2012. The voice...
Keep it down a little bit, man.
Laments the compound fracture of our spaceship.
A little bit more.
No, fuck you. To save themselves, but the truth is broader than that. They, with Desmond, saved us. Success deferred. Then the message, breaking the code, breaking the node, insist, and the very puzzling.
Linear continuity is a simulation that allows for variations. Within the linear continuity, there are nodes, choke points, moments where algorithms converge the flows of superposed possibilities to a single moment where only one absolute truth is possible. Paths are fluid, continuous, nodes are static, changeless, and the wave function collapses the paths into nodes, which branch out again and again and again. Can you feel the wave collapsing, trying to course correct Desmond's act of defiance? The incoming node needs the world to end. Where'd you?
The algorithms have been carving the flow.
Oh, yeah. The algorithms have been carving the flow of possibilities towards that end for over 100 years now. Collapsed away. Well, outside my area of expertise. Must contact someone who knows this shit better. But what it seems to be saying, the structure of space-time, the universe, is built in such a way that certain events or clusters of events are compelled to occur. A bottleneck through which space-time flows, and one nearly impossible to avoid. There is something about this catastrophe, the one Desmond averted in 2012, that compels it to return, indifferent to our fear or pain. It is a tidal wave ripping across the sea of space. It crashed once against the dike and stopped for a time. But the sea rears back for another strike, and another, and another. That gives some clarity to what is happening now, all around us. But it remains unclear how to change it, especially from within the animus, or within an animus, a simulation within a simulation.
Welcome back! Reality is a mathematical model in which gets solved over and over the centuries of the observers. Again, by the observer, yeah, that's the word. And there are computations that render this world for you to call your own. Not all predecessors are alike. Different brains, different realities. The variations go from the subtle to the drastic. Your mind defines how much you can taste, how much you can feel, how much you can understand. Perception defies perspective! We designed you and made you sure the engineer's sense so that you could perceive just what we needed you to. Neither more nor less. There are parts of time we preferred you to remain blind to. It was a necessity. If we could suddenly see time, that would not guarantee the same perception as the Izu possessed. Let us speak of a time as an entity, if we may. Let us say that time is perceivable fact in the same way that light is a perceivable fact. Ability to see the fact is no way guarantee a sympathetic view. There are creatures stumbling around the earth that read light differently. and for different purposes. Humans see in a well-known spectrum. Roy G. Biv. This sense of color is confined to the 3 cones we possess, yet nocturnal creatures see a different scope for different purposes. Night stalking, hunting, and lurking! They evolved in concert with our needs and are now constrained by them. As we are we. Light is only a fact seen askance and used differently by different species. To suggest we might read time is to imply that we have a specific use for time.
The next chapter is unstoppable, and yet the greatest revolutions sometimes originate from the confines of impossibility, do they not? Reality is a simulation. Break the code, and in doing, escape the inescapable. The Animus was humankind's first unconscious attempt to explain what it could not see. Understanding genetic memories, an eye into history. Your Animus is different, as is the mind that imagined it. If you could escape the code, it could make the leap and make possible a decision that defies the order of things that are. It is ridiculous to imagine that I could change the nature of reality out there from within the confines of an Animus. A simulation within this so-called simulation. But I believe I understand what this voice is telling me. My Animus is endowed with the ability to suggest alterations to days long past. From any moment in time, I could extrapolate what might have been. Calculations of time. I am not confined to what was, but what could have been. Yes, history is real. Facts do matter. But from any moment in time I choose within the Animus, I can interrogate the memory. I can ask the world, what if? What if Bayek and Aya had stayed together? What if Kimu had not been murdered? I can suggest these hypotheticals and watch how they unfold. Why would I want to? For knowledge. For a better understanding of what tragedies were avoided. It remains to be seen. I am, in a sense, a reader of the calculations, as the Isu were in days past. Perhaps one day I will be able to harness this talent to see into the future, to predict, to correct, to avoid. That would be worth something.
Acquired from the Eagle Bearer, Cassandra, 2018. Wait, if you plays the male character, it's not Cassandra, right?
No. Maybe it's reading your save from the game.
That's cool. Presumed manufacture date, late in the Izu Singularity age. Numbers. The staff is one of many Isu staffs known to us. The first and foremost medical device with the ability to heal, repair, restore, and rejuvenate organic tissue with unprecedented swiftness. It has been known to extend the life of its bearers well beyond the average human, and the Isu lifespan presumed to have the ability to resuscitate living creatures in a critical or suspended state. It has not been verified that the staff's ability to resurrect the dead, but it seems unlikely based on the known features. It appears to work by reading and copying the bearer's DNA to ensure perfect replication on a broad scale. It is able to detect erroneous copies and deploy repairs so as long as the bearer remains within direct contact. It has been used as a weapon infrequently, possibly by taking advantage of the tremendous power it draws from the Isu wireless energy lattice. The staff has also acted as a conduit or container for the personality of an Isu called Alethea. It is known if the personality of Alethea's original consciousness or simulation of the original, though most neuroscientists would call this a distinction without difference. As for in the early 2019, the entity known as Alethea made no further attempts to contact me. As yet, my purpose to the so-called heir of memories, as Alethea has dubbed me, remains unclear. Unknown bearers. Oh, my stuff. Pictures. Wait.
There you go. Click off of it. Close out of it. They're actual pictures.
These are pictures of the house that we're currently in.
What's that? The trash.
There's nothing in secure share.
File corrupted.
You got this one.
Mr. and Madame Bibot, my name is Layla Hassan. I was a friend and colleague of Victoria's, both at Abstergo and in our subsequent freelance careers. In all the time I knew and worked with your daughter, I was always struck by her limitless intelligence, her humor, and her ability to focus, even in times of great stress. She was an inspiration, not just to me, but to all who worked with her. I am writing to you now with the hope of shedding some light on the circumstance of her death. I realize it must be strange to receive a letter out of the blue from someone whose name you've probably never heard, offering to explain the tragic loss of one so dear. But if you'll allow me, I will try. I was with your daughter in the moments leading up to the unfortunate incident that took her life. In fact, I am partly to blame for.
And that's why it's in the trash. Oh, look at that.
I went through hell to bring you here. It had better be worth it. Be nice to sleep in a real bed when this is over.
So she sleeps on the couch. There's only one couch. What does everybody else sleep? On the couch?
Feeling okay?
Take turns?
Better. But I'm worried that it could happen again. The 2 data streams.
I can't promise it won't. I barely understand it myself.
It felt like 2 minds, fighting over one brain. It hurt like a shotgun to the head.
Right. There's something about this Viking's DNA sample that feels dense, noisy.
Could it be the staff? Interfering somehow?
How do you mean?
My headaches, my temper. They started the day I got that thing.
I hope you're not making excuses for, your friend.
Jesus, no. I'm not.
Sorry. Just take it easy. And if you feel yourself slipping again, let us know.
I'm trying. I really am.
So I guess the way you're supposed to play this is the dual switch thing.
I guess.
All right, time to go. Norway to England takes about a week by long ship, so I'll scrub ahead. Layla, you okay?
Sorry. Can you play the message again?
We have the transcript. If you're looking for something, I can
No,
go and...
I want to hear it.
Okay.
I don't mean to be cryptic. It's just... that message led us here. To this place. To a Norse grave in North America. So those bones out there are the only lead we have. Our only chance at fixing this planet before it's too late.
Here it is.
I lived, I died, and now I sleep. And in my sleep, I dream. And in my dreams, I see an end to the doom that will grip the earth once again. Find the wolf-kissed. Find the mad one. Find me. And save us all from another
Every still
death.
like this, so he does not be in the picture. You're welcome, friends.
Unsettling, that is.
That pulse in the message. Are you sure it's just coordinates? Nothing else?
We're gonna say thank you to everybody that's out there watching, out there lurking.
I'm ready.
Or just putting it up and having us on mute. We don't care. We will say we appreciate every single one of you.
Yeah.
Even though he hates your guts.
No.
I heart you.
Really? You guys are going to trust somebody? A guy that actually does the little heart thing? That's kind of sus right there, y'all. I still love you, though. Driftwood does it.
Sus?
Yes, it is.
You're sus.
Your face is sus.